Phoenix, Arizona. July 22, 2023. It was almost midnight when Lily Thompson stepped out of her car, her hands trembling as she approached the motel room. She wasn't supposed to be here, not tonight, not like this. She had sent Daniel a message hours ago, but he never replied. A gnawing unease had settled in her stomach. Something felt wrong. Something was wrong. She reached for the doorknob, but it was already unlocked. Her heart pounded in her ears as she pushed it open. What she saw inside would change everything. There, tangled in the sheets of a cheap motel bed, was the man she loved, and the woman she trusted most in the world. Her stepmother, Rebecca. For a moment, the world around her disappeared. The air felt heavy, thick, suffocating. Daniel turned, his face twisting in shock. Rebecca gasped, clutching the sheets to her chest. Their eyes met hers, wide, exposed, guilty. 1,000 emotions surged through Lily's body all at once: rage, heartbreak, disbelief. But what happened next, no one saw coming. One night. One confrontation. One fatal shot. What really happened in room 207? Was this an act of blind fury, or something far more calculated? Tonight, we uncover the shocking truth behind a love triangle that ended in murder. Stay with us. Because the truth is just beginning to unfold. Before the blood, before the sirens, before the screams shattered the night, there was a family. A life. A love that was supposed to last forever. A home where nothing seemed out of place, until you looked closer. Phoenix, Arizona. The Thompson family lived in a quiet, gated community, a place where everyone knew their neighbors, or thought they did. Mark Thompson was a respected businessman, a man who believed in hard work and loyalty. He had raised Lily on his own after her mother passed away when she was just 7 years old. For years it was just the two of them, father and daughter, an unbreakable bond. That all changed the day Rebecca entered their lives. Rebecca was everything Mark had ever wanted: sophisticated, intelligent, with an effortless charm that could draw anyone in. She was the perfect wife, the perfect stepmother, or so it seemed. To the outside world, the Thompsons were a picture-perfect family. But inside those walls, tension simmered beneath the surface. Lily had always felt something was off about Rebecca. It wasn't just the way she carried herself, the way she seemed to always know more than she let on. It was the way she looked at people, calculated, careful. And when Lily brought her boyfriend Daniel home for the first time, something shifted. Lily met Daniel Scott in her sophomore year of college. He was older, confident, the kind of guy who knew exactly what to say to make her feel special. They were inseparable. 3 years together, countless memories made, a future that felt certain. Until the cracks started to show. Daniel was charming, thoughtful. He always knew what Lily needed before she even said a word. But what she didn't see, what she couldn't have known, was that she wasn't the only woman he was making feel that way. Looking back, the signs were there. The tension in the air when the three of them were in the same room. The glances Rebecca and Daniel exchanged when they thought no one was watching. The whispers that ended the moment Lily stepped into the room. Small things. Easy to dismiss. Until they weren't. She told herself she was imagining it. That it was nothing. That Rebecca was just being friendly. After all, this was her stepmother. A woman who had been part of her life for years. What reason would she have to suspect anything more? The truth has a way of revealing itself when you least expect it. For Lily, it came in the form of a message from an unknown number. For words that shattered everything she thought she knew. Check room 207. Tonight. By the time the sun rose the next morning, everything had changed. A secret exposed. A confrontation turned deadly. And a family left in ruins. The question remained, who pulled the trigger? The weight of suspicion is a slow, suffocating thing. It starts as a whisper in the back of your mind, a fleeting thought, easily dismissed. But when the pieces begin to fall into place, when the signs become impossible to ignore, that whisper turns into a deafening roar. Something was changing. Daniel had always been attentive, affectionate. But now? Now he was distant. Always distracted. His phone, once an afterthought, never left his side. Conversations ended abruptly when Lily walked into the room. His laughter, once carefree, now felt forced, guarded. Rebecca, too, was different. Late-night errands that never made sense. A sudden change in wardrobe. Expensive perfume she'd never worn before. And then, one night, a phone call. Muffled voices. A single sentence that sent chills down Lily's spine. I can't keep this a secret forever. There's a moment, right before your world collapses, where everything slows down. Your heart pounds, your breath catches, but for a split second, you tell yourself you're imagining things. That there must be another explanation. That what you're seeing can't possibly be real. Lily's stomach twisted. Her hands shook. The truth was right there in front of her, staring back at her from the screen. Her boyfriend. Her stepmother. The betrayal she never saw coming. There are moments in life that define us. The ones where we make choices that can never be undone. This was Lily's moment. And she was done being lied to. Rebecca, screaming. Daniel. No. Stay with me. Daniel's lips part, but no sound comes out. His body jerks once. Then, nothing. Lily's grip on the gun slackens. The metal clatters against the floor. The smell of gunpowder clung to the air. The room was suffocating in its silence. And then, the realization sank in. Rebecca, whispering. What have you done? Dispatcher. 911, what's your emergency? Rebecca, clutching the phone, her hands still smeared with Daniel's blood. Her sobs make it hard to form words. Rebecca, frantically. Please. Someone's been shot. There's blood everywhere. Dispatcher. Ma'am, I need you to stay calm. Where are you? Rebecca stammers the address. Her breath hitches as she glances at Lily, who is standing motionless, eyes unfocused. Dispatcher. Who shot him? The line goes silent. Rebecca's throat tightens. Her fingers dig into the phone. Dispatcher, repeating. Ma'am, who shot him? Rebecca closes her eyes. She takes a shaky breath. And then, she says it. Rebecca. It was Lily. My stepdaughter. The weight of those words fills the room. The clock had barely struck midnight when first responders arrived at the scene. But it was already too late. Paramedics rush toward Daniel's lifeless body. They check his pulse. Shake their heads. Rebecca sobs. Lily stares at the floor, her face blank, expression unreadable. Paramedic, quietly. He's gone. An officer steps toward Lily. Handcuffs glint under the fluorescent motel lights. Officer. Lily Thompson, you're under arrest. The cold metal snaps around her wrists. For the first time, Lily moves. She shakes her head violently, her voice breaking. Lily, screaming. It was an accident. I didn't mean to. She struggles, but the officer tightens his grip. But it was done. And no amount of pleading could change what had just happened. As officers escort Lily out of the motel, Rebecca remains behind. She kneels beside Daniel's body, tears dripping onto his bloodied shirt. One secret. One betrayal. One murder. And now, one question remained. Was this truly an accident? Or was there something more to the story? As Lily sat in a holding cell, her stepmother was led into an interrogation room. There was more to this story than what met the eye. And detectives needed answers. Detective. Start from the beginning. What Rebecca was about to reveal would change everything. Stay with us as we uncover the shocking truth behind this deadly love triangle. What began as a crime of passion soon took a much darker turn. The truth was no longer just about Lily and Daniel. Rebecca had secrets of her own. Secrets worth killing for. A detective clicks through Rebecca's phone records. Thousands of texts. One exchange stands out. Rebecca, June 18, 2023, she's getting suspicious. You need to end it soon. Daniel, June 18, 2023, I know. Just waiting for the right time. Rebecca, July 5, 2023, it's been weeks. If she finds out, we're both screwed. Daniel, July 15, 2023, relax. I'll handle it. It was a carefully orchestrated deception. Rebecca and Daniel had been planning to break Lily's heart, but was there more to it? Investigators made a chilling discovery. Just weeks before the murder, Rebecca had taken out a life insurance policy on Daniel. And she hadn't told him. Detective. This wasn't just an affair, this was a setup. 11:30 p.m., Lily arrives alone. No gun in sight. 11:40 p.m., the confrontation begins. Lily bursts into the motel room. A heated argument. 11:43 p.m., Daniel and Lily struggle. Rebecca steps in. 11:45 p.m., the fatal shot. For days, Rebecca insisted Lily was the killer. But the footage told a different story. It wasn't Lily who held the gun in those final moments, it was Rebecca. She had lied. The question was, why? Lily's fate. Arrested for second-degree murder. Prosecutors debate whether to reduce charges after new evidence surfaces. Rebecca's downfall. Surveillance footage contradicts her statement. Investigators now suspect premeditation. The once glamorous stepmother now sat across from detectives, her fate unraveling by the second. Rebecca. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. But the truth was out. And now, there was no escaping justice. Stay with us as we reveal how the courtroom became the final battleground for justice in this deadly love triangle. Rebecca's arrest, the fall of a femme fatale. July 30, 2023, Phoenix Police Department. Rebecca sits in an interrogation room, hands clasped. A detective enters, dropping a file on the table, evidence. Security footage, phone records, the life insurance policy. The walls are closing in. Detective. You had a plan, Rebecca. You played both of them. And now Daniel is dead. Rebecca scoffs, trying to regain control. But the detective isn't finished. Detective. You lied to us. You framed Lily. And you almost got away with it. Rebecca Thompson, you're under arrest for obstruction of justice and providing false statements in a murder investigation. A gasp escapes her lips. This wasn't supposed to happen. The trial begins, December 2023. Prosecution's opening argument. Rebecca was the mastermind behind the chaos. She manipulated both Daniel and Lily, playing them against each other. She lied to police, fabricated her statement, and nearly got Lily convicted. And the life insurance policy? That was the real motive. The prosecutor points to Rebecca, her once polished demeanor now fading. Prosecutor. This was never about love. This was about power, control, and money. The evidence against Rebecca. Motel security footage shows Rebecca with the gun. Phone records expose months of manipulation. Text messages reveal her growing desperation. The life insurance policy suggests premeditation. Rebecca sits stiffly, jaw clenched. The jury takes notes. The walls are closing in. Lily's defense, a fight for freedom. Defense's opening argument. Lily never planned to kill Daniel. She was an emotional wreck, betrayed and heartbroken. The security footage proves she wasn't armed. The gun was in Rebecca's hand. Why? Lily sits in the defendant's chair, eyes downcast. The weight of the trial is crushing her. The star witness, a betrayal exposed. The prosecution calls their final witness, the forensic analyst. The courtroom leans in. Gunpowder residue analysis shows traces on Rebecca's hands, not Lily's. Bullet trajectory analysis contradicts Rebecca's version of events. Surveillance footage confirms Rebecca was holding the gun moments before the shot. A murmur ripples through the courtroom. The jury exchanges glances. Prosecutor. Rebecca, do you still stand by your story? Silence. Rebecca grips the edge of the table. Her lawyer whispers to her, but she doesn't respond. The closing statements, the final plea for justice. Prosecution. Rebecca Thompson lied, manipulated, and nearly sent an innocent woman to prison. She thought she could outsmart everyone. Today, we prove her wrong. Defense. Lily Thompson is not a cold-blooded killer. She was a victim of betrayal, heartbreak, and manipulation. The evidence proves she was not the aggressor. The courtroom falls silent as the jury exits. The weight of justice hangs in the air. The verdict, the final judgment. Lily Thompson's fate. Verdict, not guilty of first-degree murder. Pleads guilty to manslaughter. Sentence, 8 years in prison, eligible for parole in 4. Lily's face crumbles in relief and devastation. It's not freedom, but it's not life behind bars. Rebecca Thompson's fate. Verdict, guilty of obstruction and conspiracy to commit fraud. Sentence, 15 years in prison. Rebecca gasps. Her world shatters. She turns to her lawyer, desperate, but there's nothing left to do. Justice had spoken. The truth had prevailed. But the scars left behind would never heal. One affair. One betrayal. One murder. 3 lives shattered forever. This is the story of love, and the deadly cost of secrets. Lily's life behind bars, a daily struggle. First year in prison, the weight of regret. Lily is sentenced to 8 years, but parole eligibility in 4 years gives her a glimmer of hope. She avoids trouble but struggles with isolation and depression. Other inmates recognize her story from the news. Some sympathize, others see her as weak. In therapy sessions, she reflects on that night, replaying the moment she pulled the trigger. In an exclusive prison interview, she confesses. Lily. I should have walked away that night. But I couldn't. My heart was shattered, my mind clouded. I wasn't thinking straight. And now, here I am. Letters from Mark, a father's heartbreak. Mark Thompson, Lily's father, is torn apart by guilt. He writes Lily letters every month, but it takes her a year before she responds. In his first letter, he admits his failure as a father. Mark's letter. I let my selfishness blind me. I brought Rebecca into our lives, thinking she could fill the void. Instead, she destroyed everything. I lost you. And I lost myself. Slowly, Lily and Mark rebuild their relationship, but it is a long road. By her 3rd year, Lily starts mentoring young inmates, warning them about toxic relationships and emotional decision-making. She earns her GED in prison and takes psychology courses, hoping to help women like her one day. In a recorded therapy session, she says, Lily. I was naive. I let my emotions control me. But I won't let my mistake define me forever. Rebecca's appeal, a desperate attempt at freedom. In 2024, Rebecca files an appeal, claiming she was also a victim of manipulation. She argues that Lily's defense attorney twisted the narrative to make her look like the villain. Her appeal gains media attention, sparking debates. Was Rebecca a mastermind or just another victim? Did the justice system go too hard on her? But the court denies her appeal, ruling that the evidence was overwhelming. She will serve her full 15-year sentence. Mark files for divorce from Rebecca the moment she is convicted. He cuts off all ties, refusing to speak her name again. In a rare interview with a local news station, he expresses his grief. Mark. I lost my daughter and my wife that night. And I'll never forgive myself for letting it happen. I should have seen the signs. But love makes you blind. And in my case, it made me a fool. Mark retires early and moves to a small town in Montana, hoping to escape the whispers and judgment. One betrayal. One gunshot. 3 lives destroyed. But in the end, only one found redemption. The case of Lily Thompson is one of betrayal, rage, and irreversible consequences. Now, we turn it over to you. Do you believe Lily acted in self-defense, or was this a crime of passion? Did Rebecca get what she deserved, or should she have faced a harsher punishment? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, we read every one. And if you want more shocking true crime cases that dig deep into the truth, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because here, every crime has a final truth.